Have you been thinking about WhatsApp groups but didn't know where to start? Or do you have questions about WhatsApp group and how to make them work for your church or ministry? Then stay tuned, because that's exactly what we're talking about. And I'm giving you 5 practical tips for WhatsApp groups. Hello and welcome to the Ask Natchi show. I'm Natchi Lazarus, and today we are talking about a question related to WhatsApp groups. I absolutely love this topic and love talking about WhatsApp. Anything to do with private messaging, WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, DM, Telegram, and all that kind of stuff, because that is the future of media, especially as ministries and non-profits and churches. It's important for us to understand that people are moving towards these private media platforms, and we as a ministry need to move there because we need to be where the people are, right? So I love these questions. I've got 5 tips for you, okay? 5 things that you can do to prepare your WhatsApp groups. This question is specifically about groups, how to set up WhatsApp groups and run it effectively for your ministry. So let's get started. Number 1 is lists versus groups. You need to understand what is WhatsApp broadcast list versus WhatsApp groups. The reason I'm saying this is the very first thing you need to do is because many times you think you need WhatsApp groups, but maybe what you really need is WhatsApp broadcast list. You want to reach people on WhatsApp, you want to send them a message, that's all you need to do. You don't have to put them in a group. You can create a list and send it to them one-on-one. Even like at one time you can send it to 256 people, and they will receive the message at one-on-one from you. So maybe most ministry needs will be met by WhatsApp broadcast list, and you don't even need a group. So that is the first thing you need to decide. Do you need a group or do you need a WhatsApp broadcast list? I've written a blog post differentiating these two, so I will link to it in the show notes. Do check it out, or go to my website and look for WhatsApp. Just search for the term WhatsApp. You will find that article there, the difference between WhatsApp broadcast list and WhatsApp group. So understand that. That's the very first thing. The second thing is the purpose of your group. So understand why you are creating a group. So suppose you decide, yes, I need only groups, not lists. That's good. That's great, because groups is also a very powerful tool. And now you need to understand why you're doing it. You need to be very clear. Are you doing this for helping people in a particular way, or do you want to spread your message or distribute content, or do you want to keep it for just announcement? Maybe you're a church and you just want to make announcements. What is your purpose? You need to decide what your purpose is, because the way you structure your group will be according to that purpose. If you're going to use it for small group ministry, then you will structure it in a particular way. If you're going to use it for announcements, then you will structure it in a particular way. And the next point is actually related to this, because all the 3 that are following are related to this, because the purpose decides everything. The number 3 is create group rules. Okay, create rules before you even set up the groups, because then you are moderating the conversations. You're telling people what to do, what not to do, what are some of the ground rules. And rules are not negative things. The moment you say rules, then you're like, oh, we are a ministry, brother, we can't, put rules for people. Well, you can. You can just, lay the boundaries and say, do certain things, don't do certain things. So it's important for you to think about the rule, and the rules will depend on the purpose. So today, WhatsApp is highly regulated in many nations. It's regulated. You can't just have any kind of group and do whatever you want, and it's rightly so, because creating groups and communities is a powerful thing to spread ideas, and you need to make sure that it is done in a right way. So admins are liable if something the group is used for a wrong purpose. Then group admins are liable in some form. So do check out the law in wherever you are listening to me from, and make sure that you are in line with what the government and the authorities want in your country. Okay, just make sure that you set those rules. So number 4 is your content plan. Once you set your groups, you've got the rules in place, you've got the purpose. Now you need to think, how are you going to either distribute content to your group, or enable conversations in your group, or make people create content that is useful for your group. See, make it useful. Don't just create a group for a group's sake and just wait and watch and hope that something is going to happen. No, if you're setting up small groups, create an agenda, create a calendar, put a content plan in place. I mean, that content could be as simple as today we are talking about faith, or we are talking about finances, or we are talking about family, some topic, something, the basic thing, but at least you have a plan for each month, each quarter, each half-yearly plan, and so on, and so that you can try to accomplish what you want to accomplish, and you can measure it at the end of the period and see whether something worked or not. So try to have that content plan and measurement metrics in place before you start. Number 5 is moderation. Very important, because unlike broadcast list, groups are full of people and they are all there and having conversations, and anybody can post, and the post can go to other people. Like if you set up a group in that form, people will be able to receive messages from others. So what is your moderation plan? How are you going to moderate this group? Very important question. Think about that. Are you going to have volunteers? Are you going to have staff? Are you going to do it? How long will you spend? How many groups are there? How many volunteers are there? Because moderation is important for people to feel safe. Only when the group is well moderated, people will feel safe. The word will spread. More people will join, and it will be meaningful. It will be a meaningful, safe relationship that is being built in a safe environment, and people start trusting each other, and good conversations happen, and ministry is enabled when you have good moderation. So moderation, that is the 5th point. So there you have it. You've got all those 5 tips from me. If you have any questions related to this, do let me know. I'll be very happy to answer them. If you have any other questions related to digital or social media, send it to me. I'll be very happy to answer this on this show. All right. I'll see you next week with another answer to another question. Until then, you stay connected, stay blessed, and stay very safe. God bless you. Bye-bye.